Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today I will present the background of our business, the Ice Cream Lab. The company is a small-scale manufacturing enterprise located in Bangsa, Kuala Lumpur. It was established in January 2025 and focuses on producing premium, handcrafted ice cream. All products are sold directly through a physical retail store, allowing customers to enjoy fresh products and better customer service. For this assignment, we selected two products for cost analysis, namely Belgian Chocolate Crunch and Matcha Oreo Delight. The products are prepared in small batches every week to maintain freshness, quality, and customer satisfaction. In terms of operations, the Ice Cream Lab produces 5 batches per week, with each batch containing 50 pieces. This gives a maximum weekly production of 250 pieces. The business operates from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. with 4 employees handling customer service and production activities. The business is owned by Muhammad Alif Aiman and operates as a food manufacturing retail business.
For this section, I will explain the product costing methodology used by the Ice Cream Lab. The Ice Cream Lab applies the batch costing method to calculate the cost of producing ice cream. This method is suitable because the business produces ice cream in batches using similar production processes and ingredients. For our costing calculation, one batch produces 50 cups of ice cream and the business produces 5 batches per week. The total product cost consists of 3 main components, which are direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Our 2 main products are Belgian Chocolate Crunch and Matcha Oreo Delight. Next, I will explain the direct material cost. Direct material are the main ingredients and materials that become part of the finished ice cream product. These costs can be directly traced and identified for each batch produced. For Belgian Chocolate Crunch, the direct materials include fresh milk, whipping cream, sugar, chocolate flavoring, chocolate cookies, ice cream cups, and plastic spoons. The total direct material cost for one batch is RM115 ringgit. Meanwhile, for Matcha Oreo Delights, the direct materials include fresh milk, whipping cream, sugar, matcha powder, Oreo cookies, ice cream cups, and plastic spoon. The total direct materials cost for one batch is RM121 ringgit. This direct materials cost will be included in the calculation of the total manufacturing cost for each product. Besides direct material, the Ice Cream Lab also uses indirect material to support the production process. Indirect materials are materials that are necessary during production but cannot be directly traced to a specific product or batch. These materials do not become part of the finished ice cream product and are classified as a part of the manufacturing overhead cost. The indirect material used include cleaning detergent, disposable glove, hairnets, sanitizing spray, tissue, and packaging tape. The total indirect material cost is RM55 ringgit per week. Since the Ice Cream Lab produces 5 batches per week, the indirect material cost allocated to each batch is RM11. This cost will be included under manufacturing overhead cost when calculating the total manufacturing cost.
For the next part, I will explain about the analysis of direct labor and indirect labor for our ice cream business. To give an overview, our business operates with a total 5 workers. 4 of them make up our direct production crew and 1 serve as a factory supervisor. Let's look at the direct labor cost first. Our production crew of 4 workers is directly responsible of mixing, churning, and packaging the ice cream. To complete a single batch of ice cream, which is yield exactly 50 units, it takes a total production time of 4 hours. Since all 4 workers operate simultaneously, the total labor hours accumulated per batch is 16 hours. At an hourly rate of RM8 ringgit, our total direct labor costs per batch come up to 128 ringgit. This breaks down to a labor cost per unit of RM2 ringgit 56 cent per individual cup of ice cream. Moving on, in a indirect labor cost, we have 1 supervisor who manages overall factory operation. The supervisor works at standard for 14 hours per week at an hour rate of Rm 15 ringgit. This brings out the total indirect labor cost to Rm 600 ringgit per week. When we divide this weekly supervisor cost by our total weekly production of 250 cups, the indirect labor cost attributed per individual cup is Rm 2 ringgit 40 cents. Let's move to the section 3.4, which is the allocation of manufacturing overhead costs. Manufacturing overhead costs include all indirect factory costs that support our production but cannot be directly traced to a specific batch. These costs are tracked on the weekly basis. As shown in our weekly overhead cost table, our total manufacturing overhead pool equals to Rm 1,378 ringgit per week. This total consists of water and electricity at Rm 150, kitchen rental at Rm 300 ringgit, depreciation of our freezer machine at Rm 220 ringgit, and equipment maintenance at Rm 30 ringgit, indirect materials such as cleaning detergent, disposable glove, which is cost Rm 278 ringgit weekly. Calculate from Rm 55 per batch multiplied by 5 batch a week. And finally, our weekly indirect labor cost of Rm 600 ringgit for the supervisor. The fairly allocated this Rm 1,375 ringgit overhead cost into our final product. We use an overhead absorption rate based on direct labor hours, which with our current weekly operation schedule of 5 batch, our team logs a total of 80 weekly direct labor hours, which is 16 labor hours per batch multiplied by 5 batch. By dividing our total weekly overhead by these hours, we get an overhead rate per hour of Rm 70 ringgit and 19 cents. Ultimately, they translate to a total overhead per unit of Rm 5 ringgit and 50 cents for every cup of ice cream we produce. All these labor and overhead figures are fully synchronized and will be carried forward to complete our final job cost cut in section 3.5. That is all from me. Thank you very much.
Moving on to section 3.5, where we present the final job cost cuts for batch of our product. In this section, we apply a standard 25% profit markup based on our total production cost to determine the final selling price. First, let's look at the top cut for our Belgian chocolate crunch. Our prime cost is Rm 4 ringgit 86 cents, and after adding the total manufacturing overhead of Rm 5 ringgit 50 cents, the total cost to produce 1 cup is Rm 10 ringgit 36 cents. Applying our target 25% profit markup adds a profit of Rm 2 ringgit 29 cents per unit. This brings our final retail selling price for the chocolate flavor to Rm 12 ringgit 95 cents. Next, for our matcha Oreo Delight on the bottom cut, the prime cost stands at Rm 4 ringgit 98 cents, factoring in a total manufacturing overhead of Rm 9 ringgit brings our total cost for this flavor to Rm 13 ringgit 98 cents per cup. With the same 25% profit markup, it adds a profit of Rm 3 ringgit 50 cents per unit. This results in a final retail selling price of Rm 17 ringgit 48 cents for the matcha flavor. In conclusion, this job cost cut ensure that our business successful cover all direct material, direct labor, and factory overheads will maintain a consistent 25% profit margin across batch product.
Next, I will present our suggestion on how the ice cream lab can further improve its cost management. Firstly, the business should purchase raw materials such as fresh milk, whipping cream, and other ingredients in bulk from trusted suppliers. This can reduce the cost per unit and increase overall savings. The business should also use the FIFO or first in, first out method to reduce ingredient spoilage and avoid unnecessary waste. Secondly, the ice cream lab should improve production planning by producing ice cream according to customer demand. This helps reduce labor costs and prevents overproduction. Providing regular training to employees can also improve productivity while maintaining product quality. Besides that, the business should closely monitor overhead costs such as electricity, water, equipment maintenance, and rental expenses. Using energy efficient equipment and carrying out regular maintenance can help lower operating costs. Lastly, keeping accurate cost records and reviewing selling prices regularly will help the business make better financial decisions and maintain a healthy profit margin. By applying this strategy, the ice cream lab can improve its profitability and support long-term business growth. In conclusion, this case study shows how the batch costing method can be applied effectively in the ice cream lab. By identifying direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead costs, the business is able to calculate the actual production costs for each product. The job cost card also help the owner set appropriate selling prices while ensuring a reasonable profit margin. Overall, effective cost management is important for controlling expenses, improving business performance, and supporting long-term sustainability. Thank you. That concludes our presentation.